Why is my hair just always... Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie, I'm from Austria and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about my knitting and some other fun stuff. I thought we could do a little heart-to-heart conversation for this week, just to, I don't know, kind of let you know what's been going on in my life, how I'm feeling, all of that stuff. So you can grab your knitting. I'm gonna be working on my test knit. If you're not familiar with it, you can go and check out my podcast Cast On. But this is a test knit I've been working on over the past month, 2 months almost, I think. This is called A Stitch to Wear by Courtney. It is a very lovely design and I'm almost done with the body. I am using Tin Liner. Like I said, you can check out my podcast or Ravelry page if you want more information about it, and you can grab yourself a drink, your knitting, and we can get started. So first up, I asked you over on Instagram quite a while ago now if there's anything you would like to know, any questions, and I got 2 questions. And before I'm gonna start with my, I don't know, spill the tea conversation kind of, I'm gonna answer these questions and then transition into the other part. Also, I do have my window open because it's really hot in this apartment, and I also look a little bit disheveled because I've been trying to move out and packing things is not the most sustainable look on you for looking nice. So yeah, I have 2 questions, and the first question is from Emily.knits2, and she's asking about my favorite yarn and favorite knit sweater. My favorite yarn still is Drops Charisma, I have to say, although the woolly knit 100% British wool really comes very closely on the 2nd place. And my favorite knit sweater, I think it's either my sweater number 18, which I didn't finish that long ago, or my Lento, which I also really love because I made it in this gorgeous hand-dyed yarn I got from England, and I just love those 2 pieces to death. Sadly, I couldn't really wear sweater number 18 as much as I wanted to because it got hot so fast, but I think these 2 would be my favorite sweaters. So thank you, Emily, for sending in that question. And then I have another question from, I'm really sorry, I'm gonna mispronounce this so badly, Ingelsa. I'm really sorry. You are a lovely lady. I really enjoy chatting with you. And she asks, will you de-stash before you move, or will you bring all of your yarn? The answer to that is I have de-stashed a little bit, but mostly all of my acrylic yarn that I've had in my stash from the very early days when I started working with yarn and all of that stuff. So I am currently in the process of donating that bit, and apart from that, I'm gonna take all of the stuff that I have with me for now, and then I can always de-stash a little bit later, especially my Drops kit silk that I do have. It's just not very nice for me to work with it and to wear it. The wear is more so the issue. It's very scratchy to me, and I do have quite a lot of it. So in the future, I will either try and sell it, or I will make some gifts out of it and then just gift it to the important people in my life. So those were the 2 questions that I got sent in over on Instagram, and we can now get into a little bit of a heart-to-heart conversation, like I said. Let's start with how I've been. Maybe I've been okay. So for a little like recap, if you will, if you're not familiar with my podcast videos, I'm currently in the stage of a breakup. My ex-boyfriend and me, we broke up almost 2 months ago, and it's been very difficult for me, especially because we've been living together for such a long time, and it's really heartbreaking to see all of the little knickknacks we accumulated over the years, and also just change, I guess. Change is very difficult for me. I don't like change. I try to avoid it. I like routines. I like things how they are. And this has been a big change for me, because you do lose your partner, and it takes some time to get better, to deal with that situation, and to kind of try and heal yourself, do a little bit of self-care, and start your life just in a different direction, start a new chapter, as many of you have referred to the situation, and I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. And yeah, ups and downs, I guess. Some days are better, some are a bit worse, but overall I've been okay. I am someone who doesn't really like to talk about stuff, so I always push the things down, which I know is not very healthy and can really damage relationships, and you essentially damage yourself as well. I guess that's like a self-destructive habit of mine, that I just push things down. I don't want to think about them, and I'd rather distract myself from those difficult situations. But that's how you grow. You grow when you leave your comfort zone, and this is what happened. But it's not been easy, I have to say. It's not been easy, especially since this is my first relationship I've ever been in, and diving right into moving and living together has kind of taken its toll on me. But yeah, relationships, they do not work out sometimes, and it's very difficult to accept that, but that's kind of how you move forward, how you better yourself, how you grow from those things. And maybe next time it will work out, because I do know that he has not been the person I was meant to be with for the rest of my life, just for that amount of time. And I truly believe in things happen for a reason. You do have this person in the world, like a soulmate. I know not everyone believes in these things, but I truly do. And I just have to keep looking, which doesn't mean that it will get any easier, especially because I have no clue about dating. Because we got together so young, I never really had the chance to date as like a traditional 20-year-old. Excuse me. And it's scary. It really is scary to put yourself out there again and to keep going, especially since you know how much this can hurt, and obviously you don't want these things to happen again. But you know, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So in general, I've been alright. The first few weeks when he moved out and I helped him move out, they have been very difficult. There was a lot of crying, there was a lot of trying to distract myself, trying to forget, which obviously made the things worse. I still very much gravitate towards him, mostly because I don't have like really good friends living here in Vienna where I can just go to. I've been having a really hard time making friends ever since I came here through uni. I feel like Vienna is not a very open city. Some people might disagree, but I always felt like people just already had their groups and they didn't want to expand and let other people in, which of course is, as a really young adult, really difficult if you feel very alone after you just moved cities and moved out of not only your parents' home but also your hometown. It's very difficult to find these people and those connections that make you want to stay. So I very much gravitate towards him still, and we are still friends. We do still talk. There are still a few things left here at this place which I have to now try and get to him. We've been, you know, together for a few times, but that doesn't mean it makes it any easier, because you do kind of feel like it's the carrot in front of the donkey. I don't know if that expression makes any sense in English, but it's like, you know what you've had and it really is like a step back, but you know there could be more, and there has been more. So that has been really difficult to know kind of his schedule, and with which people in his life, how he operates during the day, what he does, how his work looks like, and having to step back and say, okay, this is not the life I'm living anymore, because I'm not included or that involved anymore in his life. But no, that has kind of been what's been happening in my head. I am currently, oh, there it is again, excuse me, sorry. I have started therapy, and I don't feel like you should feel any shame, and I think we do really have to open up this conversation that therapy is now not a bad thing to do, and it is helpful, and even though you're fine, you can still go to therapy. It doesn't always have to be something wrong with you necessarily. But therapy has been, I've only been there twice, so I can't really talk a lot about it, but it has been kind of helpful to have an outsider perspective on it. I've been talking to my mum a lot about my relationship, how her relationships have been, because she has been in quite a few herself, and it's nice to have this support system and to have people that you can rely on, but also outsiders who are trying to help you and to give you a different perspective, because at the end of the day it's always about perspective, how you see things and how you want to see them, how you perceive them. So that's been kind of nice. I've been looking forward to that. I've also started journaling again. Not regularly or anything. I used to bullet journal a few years ago and I absolutely loved it. Every single day I would sit down in the evening and just write a little paragraph what I've been doing during the day, and just get out my thoughts out of my head, so I have a clearer headspace. And I've been trying to do that again, just to also help myself, because I feel like this is, at least to me, this is self-care as well. It's not always just taking yourself out on a date or having a bath or, I don't know, taking a spa day or something like that. It's also just being alone with your thoughts and not always being distracted, and really think about your thoughts and what's the word, process that's the word I'm looking for, and process what has been happening, and then also what has been happening, that it's fine, that it's okay, because it is okay to not be okay, is what I'm trying to say. And the sooner you really get this not in your head, but the sooner you live by this, the happier you will get, at least from my experience. Uni. Uni is another kind of sore topic. I'm stuck. I'm gonna be honest, I am not in a good place in that aspect. I've been putting it off. I have 2 exams left, tax law and 1 Spanish exam, and the Spanish exam is what really worries me, because I can't speak Spanish on that level, and I know that the professor is quite a nasty one, and I'm just not ready. For tax law, I hate law. I've started studying for it, but then the whole breakup happened, and then I've just not picked up the book anymore. And to be honest, I'm fine with that. I do want to finish this study, but it's not a priority anymore. I don't even want to have this study. I don't even want to have this degree, just because it's not what I want to do anymore. And that is really, really heartbreaking to me, because I put so much work and effort in it, and I'm burnt out. I can't physically bring myself to sit down, open one of those books and study for an exam that I know will not be fair on students. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I have 2 exams left, and my thesis has just been another disaster, really discouraging, really frustrating. What happened was I wrote a whole thesis in December. I really plowed through it. I know it was a time crunch, but basically my whole Advent time, the time before Christmas, I had no free time. I had lectures in the morning, and then just worked on my thesis till 9 at night. So for hours and hours I sat on this piece, but then it couldn't get accepted because it wasn't what they were looking for, the piece that I wrote. So essentially the whole work I put in, all of those 20 something pages that I wrote, can get put in the bin. And that's why I haven't touched on this topic anymore, because when you put so much work and effort in, and tears and sweat and literally tears, just to get told that it's not what they wanted, and it's not, you won't pass with this thing because you completely are outside of the guidelines or the framework. It's not been very good to say the least, and that was just another drop in the bucket, and it just overflowed. So I've now just, I don't know what to do. I'm going to be honest, I am, in that aspect, I'm really helpless. I'm trying to take the year out. Is that the right word? I'm trying to get the year off, to not study on it, because it's a waste of money as well. If I keep paying my study fee for another semester, but I know I won't do anything, it really is a waste of money, and I don't want, nor can waste the money at the moment with, you know, moving and everything. Everything is super expensive. It will get even more expensive in the future, as we all know. So that is the plan for that, just leaving it for now. I might come back to it, but to be honest, if I don't finish this degree, who cares? I really don't anymore. Would it be nice to have it? Yes, of course, because it's a Bachelor of Science. It's a really, really good degree. You can do so many things with it, and I put so much work in it, like I mentioned 1,000 times now, just to be stuck on 2 exams, which are nothing if you look at the grand scheme of taking 40 exams, or I don't even know how many there are, but it's essentially 180 credits in total, and I'm missing 16. That is minuscule, but I just can't even think of uni at the moment, so I'm just gonna leave it in the corner. I know that my family will kind of be disappointed and not understand, but I have to just put myself first here. I have to... Hello, excuse me. What are all these flies? Disrupting my very dramatic story time. I know that I will be a bit disappointed in myself because I've always wanted to study. I am the first one to go to uni in my family, and I really wanted to also uphold the image, but just doing it for the image is not healthy, nor should it be that way. And I know this degree is not for me anymore, so maybe in the future I will finish it in, I don't know, a year. I will come back to it. I might even start something completely different, because now I really feel like I have found my love and passion, and that is knitting and being in the whole knitting and sewing and creative world. So I know that these are options that I do have. And then with uni comes the question, what are you going to do? What are you going to work as, etc, etc. This is going to sound so entitled, and I really don't want you to take it the wrong way, but I am very stubborn. I am an Aries, and even though I don't 100% believe in star signs and all of that stuff, I truly believe that there is something to it, and I am very stubborn. I am very opinionated, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a great team worker. I work best on my own when I can tell other people what to do, and I know this is not ideal for any position, especially if you are looking for people to work for you. I am not a great employee, because at some point I won't like what you have to tell me. And I think that I can do it better or differently or whatever. And I know that this is... I really don't want to kill you, but if you don't stop, I'm gonna have to. This has been a big problem in the past, but I'm trying to work on being self-employed. I'm trying to stand on my own 2 feet without having a full-time job in a different area where I know I won't 100% love it, and where I can't be free and have also that freedom that I so desperately crave. So yeah, just working on some stuff behind the scenes, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that another time maybe. But this is stressing me out. I'm not gonna lie. It's just another thing on my plate, something that I have to keep in mind, but also don't want to think about too much. But the time will come at the end of the summer where, when I'm not enrolled in university, I lose all of my benefits, all of my health insurance, because you are insured with your parents when you're studying. So I need a plan, essentially, and I do have a plan, but I don't know if that plan can be executed as well as I hope it can, and as fast as I want it to be. So that has kind of been it on that front. And then the last thing that I that has been on my mind. I mentioned this a few times now, and if you are struggling with mental health things in terms of your weight, your body weight, then please fast forward or click off this video. I don't want to trigger anyone. This is just how I'm feeling. And yeah, with my mental health, I've also struggled a lot in the past with my weight. My weight has always been a big problem for me ever since I've been a teenager. I always tried to lose weight. I've always been working out and being really conscious about what I put in my body and counting calories, and that is not a healthy practice for a 14-year-old. So I came to terms with that when I started uni. I thought, now I'm gonna keep working out, and I can now cook my own stuff, because at home my mum would make the food, and then when we came home from school we would have food there kind of always prepared, or I would cook. But over the years, ever since I moved out, I've been lazy with cooking, I'm gonna be honest, because there has always been another person who I could roll this task on. That's not right. I thought because there was another person that he could do it, and that was not the case. A lot of the times it was that he would either help me cook or just cook himself and then kind of make the meal. But with the increase in the work schedule and the work hours they had to put in, it's been a big problem on with who would cook food, who would go shopping, because it would have been me most of the times, and I did not like that, because I had uni, I had lectures, I had just as much on my plate as he did, and I really neglected it. I neglected eating. I lost, I wouldn't say a lot of weight, but I did lose a significant amount, to the point where I'm too thin now. I don't feel as comfortable in my skin as I thought I would as like I said, a 14-15-year-old. And this is, I didn't have a eating disorder in any way, shape or form in the past, but I always wished I was smaller, I was thinner, as you do, you know, when you're self-conscious in your teens, in your teen years, should I say. And now I'm trying to gain some weight. I want to start working out again, gain some muscles, and get the flexibility back that I used to have, because I used to be pretty damn flexible. I used to be able to do a split, and now I can't. I can barely touch my toes standing up. So it's been really discouraging once again to know where you've once been progress wise, and the big setback that you have. But I want to better myself. I want to start eating more food. First of all, I want to try and have 3 regular meals, because in the past I would have like 1 slice of bread as breakfast and then nothing for the whole day, and then in the evening maybe if we had a big meal, a bowl of curry, and then that was it. So way under the amount of calories that you should have, and it showed not only body wise but also that is a bit of a stupid thing to say. It did show on my body, and also with how I view food, because I always like to binge. I always like to indulge in food, have good food, and not feel guilty about, I don't know, sweets. I have a major sweet tooth, and that has been fine. But now I'm trying trying to get back on track, get to a healthy weight, and care about my body and myself more, because I know I will thank myself in the future. I just really have to put in the effort to cook, and that is really what's been putting me off, having to cook and clean. So yeah, those have been all of the topics I've wanted to kind of touch upon. I hope that you are not I hope you don't feel sorry for me, because I don't want to take pity, and I just wanted to open up a little bit more. I don't know how many people actually like to have these conversations, these kind of videos, because I know those things are very personal and can trigger some people. That is not what I want to do at all, but I just wanted to be a bit more transparent, talk to you about a few things that have just been on my mind, and also it helps talking about things. If you feel like you can't handle something, you should talk to a friend, you should talk to your family, someone you trust, even your therapist, because those things really do help. And one of the worst things you can do is just bury it deep inside you, and then one day it will spill over and it will be too much, and I don't wish that upon anyone. So yeah, I hope this has been not too depressing, and I hope you are fine. Let me know down below whatever you want to tell me. I'm always happy to get comments, and I do want to open up this space to not just be about knitting and the happy times, but also the down sides of things and the lows, because those are just as important as the ups, because you learn from them and you grow from them. So yeah, I hope I will see you in next week's podcast episode. Stay tuned and stay healthy, stay well, and happy knitting. Bye!